Alright, what's going on, guys? I just tried one draft, realized my mic wasn't going, so we'll go ahead and try this one more time here. Um, I got a draft coming up on Saturday. I want to get as many mock drafts as I can in, and using Fantasy Pros, the Draft Wizard up on the top here. I got my rankings on the right. I'll have a link to that in the description and up top. So they have a really cool feature where you can add the league, and it'll just bring in the scoring settings. So you don't really have to do much. You just come over here, you click on your league, and then you can do a mock draft. So really easy, real quick. I've talked about it a lot, how good and fast these are. So just go from here. So this one is a point 0.5 PPR league. You can see on the bench here, I know it's the right league because there's no kicker, and it's a double flex spot. So this is my only league I have like that, and my strategy is going to be load up on receivers, get at least two, maybe three elite guys that I have in my top 11 here, and if there's not three, then I just I'll start looking for potentially a running back, but running backs will probably be gone, so we'll just have to kind of play it by ear. So right now I have DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green. So this one, I think Hopkins is probably the pick. Well, actually, I'll just go by rankings here. So we'll go with AJ Green on the first one. So Dez comes around. Dez had a bit, a down year with the injury last year, but he's just a monster. And so I got Brandon Marshall coming back to me again. So I'll be loading up on that. So my wide receiver spot right there is, those are all potential like 10 touchdown wide receivers. And then from there, I'm going to come down, and so it's all the way down to Cobb. And most of the running backs are already gone, so we're kind of in like this area. So what I would probably do, last draft I got Ryan Matthews. I think there's going to be a lot of yards and opportunities there. And then I like, as my flex spot, like all the way down to Fitzgerald. I'd be avoiding a few like Kelvin Benjamin, Jordan Matthews. I'm not real big on. Same with Edelman, Cobb. I don't know. Like that's one that I'm okay missing on. So here I want to make sure that I get at least a potential 3 down back. Like we'll see how it kind of pans out if it's a RB committee, but there should be a lot of opportunities there. So Macklin came back. So right now my team is pretty consistent, high touchdown upside, and so I could go for something safe, or I could go for like an Arian Foster who's still on the board, which is probably going to be my pick here, because there's still 6 receivers. I guess I'm okay with Crabtree, and some of these guys down here, Marvin Jones, Parker, maybe. So we're going to try with Foster, and we're going to see what comes back to us, because that'll be a really strong lineup, at least for the beginning of the season. Foster's, his value has diminished because of his injury history. So Fitzpatrick came back. That's one that I really like, so I'll probably just go ahead and pick that one. Russell Wilson would be a good pick there in the 6th round. But I want to shore up all my flex spots, all my wide receivers. That's going to be my first priority in just about every draft here. So here's going to be, Drew Brees fell to me, so there's just no way I'm not going to pick him. You're getting a potential, like he could be the #1 quarterback in the league this year, so I'm going to take that just for the value. And then so we end up missing on one more wide receiver. I kind of wanted, I was always look for like Marvin Jones around there, Crabtree, but we'll just kind of see what is available. So I think Chris Ivory's it will be a pretty solid pick there. A lot of touchdown upside because they will run the ball. He'll be in a committee, but he'll probably get that goal line work. So I'm okay stabbing, taking a shot on that. And then the wide receivers, I don't know if there's a lot of touchdown upside here. Coleman potentially, but he's dealing with an injury. He's not in training camp, so that's a little bit rough. So I'm going to go with Ivory there. So I'm not really digging the, I mean, I like Snead in a PPR. So this is a half point. So he would be, I think I'd probably take Kamar Aiken over him, because if I'm just going to go for somebody with a high floor, there's hardly anybody fighting for him. If Steve Smith comes back, he'll take a good chunk out of it, out of the offense, but he was productive last year, and we're in the 9th round now, so you know you can't be too choosy about that. But I think that he might make it back to me with 10 picks. Rashad Jennings has a chance to be like a 3-down back there. So Justin Forsett too, which I really like. I'm probably gonna lean Forsett. Yeah, I don't know. This one is a toss up. I know I have Jennings higher, but I'm getting. Oh no, I do have Forsett higher. Okay, so my rankings did hold true. Very few times. All right, so Aiken's still there, so that's what I was going for. But then if I take him, Dixon's gonna be gone. So this is just, I guess I'm just going to default it to my rankings. Whoever shows up first here. Looks like Aiken showed up first. Dixon has the potential to be a 3-down back at the end of the year, and Kamar Aiken's pretty much what he is. So I'm in the 10th. Like, I'm okay going in that direction. This one's kind of so-so, Like, I don't want to miss out on him, so I'm going to have to take him a little bit more expensive than I wanted to. And then so the tight ends are flying now. Jared Cook's still there. Vance McDonald's still there. So I'll hang out on that. And Kamar Aiken's still there. So we'll go ahead, and we've been talking about him for a few picks, so we'll pick him up. So right now we got 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs. So, Travis Benjamin has that potential boom as well. I like Devontae Booker. McFadden is probably a pretty good pick there. He did something stupid in the off season, but if Elliott ends up not working out, Alfred Morris, is what he is. So I'm thinking that I might go with McFadden there, just because I have such a wide receiver heavy, pick there. I don't know how often I'd actually start Travis Benjamin. Kamar Aiken's kind of like my safety net there for buys. And so he came back, so we don't even have to worry about it. The other one that I'd think about here is Christian Michael. We're doing that again this year, so I would probably, because I want a piece of the Chargers offense, and I missed out on Gates. So yeah, we'll go with Benjamin there. And then Christian Michael fell back. And I'm pretty sure Vance McDonald will still be there, who I'm pretty big on. So Spencer Ware has an option there too. I'll probably take Michael right now, just because I think he's the starter as long as Rawls is out. And Spencer is, he's going to be behind, or Spencer Ware is going to be behind Jamal Charles for sure. So I like Vance McDonald there, and then we'll see what defense rolls back around. And we'll just go with the Rams. I think the Vikings will be a better offense, so I think I'll go with that, because they're kind of carbon copies of each other. So I got a much worse than last time. Got a 77 on the one where my mic wasn't working. So on this one, it was tight end, running back. I really didn't like, but there's a lot of upside there. I tried to, get that running back, like short up as possible. Take a few stabs. So I'm okay with that, because I think my wide receivers are just gonna, just flat out like win against most of the other teams there. So that's kind of the point of the strategy. Like if I was playing this team here, they have my running backs beat by a mile, but then it goes Cooper, Hilton, Floyd, Gordon, And I'll take my four wide receivers over that any day. That's kind of like my strategy going into this season, is to make sure I get hopefully like two of these top 11 guys in my first two rounds. We'll see how where I have to draft and things like that. So if you guys like the draft or like the analysis or anything, go ahead and subscribe if you guys have any questions or anything like that. And I have a blog that I run. It's at the top of the link there. And yeah, if you guys have any questions on Twitter, anything, hit me up. All right, later.